but right now I'm not going to blame him. I'm going to thank him very much for being here and helping us out, and Jessica Dang for taking care of coordinating everything there at the VFW, and getting our guest speakers together as well. So again, it's our co-host, our senior airman, Matthew Renner. Matt, go ahead and put your head in the screen so people can see you. He's over by the flags right there waving. There you go. And he was with the U.S. Air Force, and then Corporal Jessica Dang, U.S. Army. And Jess, we would love to see your face too, so go ahead and smile. There you go. Thank you. So without ado, I am honored to be here with all of you today on this very special day to remember our fallen soldiers, for you, your brothers and sisters, for us, our honored heroes, and all of you who have served as well. So first and foremost, thank you to all of you, and thank you to those who are not with us in body, but are here in spirit. So we're going to start with J.B. Holmes will be doing an invocation for us. Dr. J.B. Holmes is the commander of VFW Post 7721. So J.B., will you please do an invocation for us?
Thank you. O sovereign ruler of the universe, today, Memorial Day 2020, in this country and overseas, there are over 1,354,664 graves of American fighting men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice for you and this great nation. All of these men and women were different, but they shared this in common. They loved God and America very much. There was nothing they wouldn't do for you and her, and they loved with the sureness of the young. It's hard not to think of the young in our national cemeteries, for it's the young who do the fighting and dying when peace fails and war begins. In Washington, D.C., there's a statue of the three servicemen, the three fighting boys of Vietnam. It too has your majesty and more. Three rough boys walking together, looking ahead with a steady gaze. There's something wounded about them, a kind of resigned toughness. But there's an unexpected tenderness too. At first, we don't really notice, but then we see it. The three are touching each other, as if they're supporting each other, helping each other on through their faith in you and America. We know that many veterans will gather today, some of them perhaps at national cemeteries and memorials, and they will still be helping each other on. They are quite a group, the boys of war, boys who fought terrible and vicious wars without enough support from home, boys who were dodging bullets when we debate the efficacy of the battle. It was often our poor who fought in wars. It was the unpampered boys of the working class who picked up the rifles and went on the march. They learned not to rely on us. They learned to rely on each other and you, Lord. And they were special in another way. They chose to be faithful to you and each other. They chose to reject the fashionable skepticism of their time. They chose to believe and answer the call of duty. They had the wild, wild courage of youth. They seized certainty from the heart of an ambivalent age. They stood for something. And we now ask for your protection for those who even now guard gates of freedom. In our Lord's name we pray, amen.
Amen. JB, thank you so much. JB, I know you're going to be part of our ceremony later on too, so if you could just walk to the camera so we can see who you are, and for those who don't know you. Okay, now we're going to ask Chief William Carl, President of the Collier County Veterans Council, also of the U.S. Coast Guard, to please tell us a little bit about Memorial Day and what it means. Chief?
Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We're here today to honor the fallen heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage, their dedication, and to say thank you for their sacrifices. Today we Zoom chat in the midst of patriots, family, and friends of those who have nobly served. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the support of the families and friends of those fallen heroes we honor and respectfully remember. The service members we honor today came from all walks of life, but they have shared several fundamental qualities. They possess courage, pride, determinations, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity, all the qualities needed to serve a cause much larger than oneself. Many of them didn't ask to leave their homes to fight on distant battlefields. Many didn't even volunteer. They didn't go to war because they loved fighting. They were called to be part of something bigger than themselves. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways in extreme times. They rose to the nation's call because they wanted to protect a nation which has given us so much. Millions of Americans have fought and died on battlefields here and abroad to defend our freedoms and our way of life. The idea of Memorial Day, originally Decoration Day, arose from the ashes of the Civil War. Following the Civil War, at least 620,000 Americans, both Union and Confederate, had been killed through the course of war. Although there are different versions on how Memorial Day began, one story goes that grieving families, both Northern and Southern, began decorating the graves of their lost soldiers with flowers and wreaths. In one city in Mississippi, people decorated the graves of both Union and Confederate troops out of the respect for families of the Union soldiers and with the hope that someone would do the same for their lost loved ones in the North. These informal honors led to the first Memorial Day observance in Waterloo, New York, on May 5th, 1866. Congress officially recognized Memorial Day as a federal holiday in 1887. Since then, with each passing year, we've continued to honor our troops. We have awarded medals to many soldiers. We've added their names to monuments and named buildings for them to honor them for their bravery. But nothing can ever replace the hole left behind by a fallen service member. And no number of medals or ribbons can comfort the ones left behind. Today, people throughout the country will gather together to remember, to honor, and to pay gratitude for those who have served our country. Our Zoom gathering is just one small spark in the flame of pride that burns across the nation today and every day. It's not a lot, but in one small way, we can honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice so that they can live, so that we can live in the freedom. Our presence here today and that of the people gathering all across America is a tribute to those lost troops and to their families. It is a way to say we remember. From the soldiers who shivered and starved through the winter of Valley Forge, to the doughboys crouched in the muddy trenches of France, to the platoon who patrolled the hazy jungles of Vietnam, and to the young men and women patrolling the mountains of Afghanistan. We remember and honor them all. Thank you.
My apologies for any dog barking that happens here. I'm trying to keep it under control. Can you all hear me? Yes, okay, I'm back on. Thank you. So thank you, Chief. That was beautiful and appreciated. It certainly, I know by myself, who's a civilian and doesn't fully understand what all of you have been through. I can only go on everything that I've learned and by the honor of being amongst all of you. So thank you for doing that. Now we are going to ask Dr. J.B. Holmes to return. Again, he's the commander of the VFW Post 7721 with veteran advocate Kristen Downey of Vow Hospice and Captain Jack Fulmer of the U.S. Marines to present the flag. And the flag reading will be led by Lieutenant Colonel Michael Knutson of the U.S. Army. And then that will be followed by the memorial wreath presented by Command Sergeant Major James Reginald Birch, U.S. Army, and Lieutenant Colonel Michael Knutson, U.S. Army. And I know you guys are going to be a little bit farther from the camera, but maybe afterwards just walk up and introduce yourself so we know who you are. Thank you.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tall buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over institutions of learning. I stand guard with power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I'm recognized all over the world. I am worshiped. I am saluted. I am loved. I am revered. I am respected. I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. I was flown at Valley Forge, Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox. I was there at San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, in the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Korea, Quezon, Saigon, Iraq, and Afghanistan. I was there. I led my troops. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my soldiers cheered me, and I was proud. I have been burned, torn, trampled on the streets of countries I have helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I have been soiled upon, burned, torn, trampled in the streets of my own country. And when it is done by those who I have served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth and stood watch over the uncharted frontiers of space from my vantage point on the moon. I have borne silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hours are yet to come, when I'm torn in strips and used as bandage for my wounded comrades on the battlefield, when I am flown at half-mast to honor a soldier, or when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving parent at the grave of their fallen son or daughter. I am proud. I am the flag of the United States of America. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold signifies our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and tribute of the veteran departing our ranks and who gave a portion of his or her life for the defense of our country to attain peace. The fourth fold exemplifies our weaker nature as citizens trusting in God. It is to him we turn for his divine guidance. The fifth fold is an acknowledgement to our country, or in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our heart lies. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through our armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies. The eighth fold is to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we may see the light of day. The ninth fold is in honor of womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The tenth fold is a tribute to Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country. The 11th fold, in the eyes of the Hebrew citizens, represents the lower portion of the seal of the King of David, King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of the Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The last fold, when the flag is completely folded, the stars are utmost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
the President of the United States, the Department of Defense, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the Clark County Veterans Council, we present this flag today to honor our fellow brother and sister veterans who have fallen in the line of duty to protect our country and defend the freedoms we so richly cherish.
Thank you, Kristen, and JB, and Jack, and Michael for a beautiful presentation. Now we ask that David Ramos from the U.S. Army, First Sergeant Daniel Ramos from the U.S. Army to play taps for us. And Matt, please let those who are trying to get in come in. Daniel? Thank you, Daniel.
Welcome.
We now have a special guest joining us, Captain Wayne Smith of the U.S. Air Force. Captain Smith, would you join us and give us some words about Memorial Day from you, please?
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here. I'm very lucky to be here. This day is very special to me, mainly because about 10% of my classmates at the Air Force Academy are no longer with us. So I'm very, very fortunate. I'm going to talk about one of them in particular. Memorial Day was a federal holiday since 1967,
It originated from the American Civil War, which was to honor the Union and the Confederate dead. During their 20th century age, they extended to recognize all Americans who have sacrificed their life during military conflict. Perhaps the most noted quote on Memorial Day is, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." Well, certainly everyone in this room and those watching TV today knows that a hero embodies his need. One such hero I personally knew is a USAF fighter pilot. His name was Lance Saigon. He was one of my classmates. He was the only Medal of Honor winner of the Academy. It was awarded posthumously. I knew of this man among men when we attended the Academy together. I learned of his love through the walls of the Hilton Hotel via our tap code. Lance was a strapping 220-pound athlete, a football player. He suffered a compound fracture when he ejected, head injuries, multiple lacerations. When he finally got to Hanoi with his captors, almost 47 days after bailing out, Lance escaped several times by overpowering his guards. In the end, he never gave more than rank, name, and serial number, which we were all trained to do. Honoring his team until his last breath, honoring this land of the free and home of the brave. He died 2 days after I finally made it to Hanoi, after I was shot down and ejected over Laos. Memorial Day is a time to honor, reflect, and remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. As I listen to the national anthem, I can't claim to know the words, but all the anthems in the world, but I know of ours. It ends with a question and a challenge, as ours does. It's the only one in the world, to my knowledge. And that question is, does that flag still wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave? On this Memorial Day, this is what we must ask ourselves, so as to honor those who gave their all. We walked among the crosses where our fallen soldiers lay, and listened to the bugle as the taps began to play. The chaplain led a prayer. We stood with heads bowed low and thought of the fallen comrades I had known so long ago. They came from every city across this fertile land that we might live in freedom. They lie here beneath the sand. I felt a little guilty. My sacrifice was small. I only lost a little time, but these men lost their all. Now the services are over for this Memorial Day. To the names upon those crosses, I just want to say, thanks for what you've given. No one could ask for more. May you rest with God in heaven from now through evermore. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain Smith. We really appreciate you being here and sharing that wonderful, beautiful and sincere message. Right now we are going to honor all of our branches of service with this medley salute. So please enjoy. Hang on. Hold on a minute, we'll get it fixed. You want to hear that it's all of the songs and you can't hear it. Oh well. So I couldn't hear that on my side. It was, did everybody else, can give me a thumbs down if you didn't hear it? Yeah, okay. So we had a Zoom technical difficulty. I'm very sorry about that because it is a beautiful medley. So I will make sure that we send that out to all of you so you can enjoy it later as well. Hopefully our next video we will be able to hear. But we are recording this call. I hope no one minds that. If you do, let me know and I'll take care of that later. But we will share this later and we will share that medley again. And again, really, it's a beautiful medley. So I hope that you'll enjoy it later. Okay, so now I would like to, this is a moment, I think we have, I can't tell how many people we have all together, but I think we have enough where we can see each other. Can everybody get their gallery view? You know how to do that? Go up to your top right corner and hit the gallery view. Then you can see everybody in the little boxes, like Hollywood squares, like everybody's saying. And then this is the time where I'd like you to hold up, if you have a picture of a loved one who either we lost in service or someone you would just like to honor today in memory, or a picture of yourself in service. We'd love for you to hold those up. And I am just gonna, Matt, I'm gonna ask you to unmute us because I think we have time. So Matt, if you'll unmute everybody, I'll watch that happen.
Allow everybody to unmute themselves.
Okay, so everybody, if you'll unmute yourself, you can do it one at a time if you'd like. I'm gonna go across the screen. I'm gonna ask each person to say who they're holding up and what branch of service, if that would be okay. And Jess, I'm going to start with you since you're in my upper left corner.
This is my late husband, Paul Dang, U.S. Army, Special Forces.
Thank you. I'm looking for pictures. Chief Carl, did you want to say anything?
No.
Okay. Jack Hogan?
I just want to say something in remembrance of my dad. I don't have a picture. He was in World War I in the Army and live and well, actually, so I'm here. But he was gassed in the Argonne Forest, but made it out.
Oh, well. We're glad you're here. And thank you for honoring him. The Gellings, would you like to say something? You have to unmute yourselves. There you go.
I was in the Army during the Vietnam era. I don't have a photograph now. I think I know where it is in the closet, but I don't have to do so today. So I appreciate everybody's input, and that's all I have.
Well, thank you for being here with us. And thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Connie, you had somebody?
Can you hear?
Put it closer to the screen, Connie. There you go. And who is, oh, unmute yourself, my friend.
Can you hear Pepper?
Pep, just a moment, we'll be with you.
Yeah, no, I have no picture. I don't know why.
That's okay, we'll be with you shortly.
Okay, this is my son, Navy Corpsman. He's retired up in Virginia Beach and working still as government service now at the nuclear submarine base.
Thank you, Connie. Kevin, did you want to say anything? Kevin Walsh.
I just want to thank all the veterans that are on the call and that are holding up pictures of their loved ones. We appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Lori? No, okay. Oh, wait. Are you a yes, Lori?
Sorry.
That's
yeah,
okay.
I would just like to thank everyone for their service and for everyone that's on this call today. It's absolutely amazing, and we honor you all.
Thanks, Lori. Didier, did you want to say anything?
Who?
Didier, you need to unmute Didier. Go ahead. Now I've lost him. Okay, when he comes back, we'll get him. David Ramos?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the veterans, and I will be playing taps again at 3 o'clock, Buglers of America. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we're going to do it all over the nation. So I will be playing taps at 3 o'clock from my house.
How do we tap into that? Chief, I'll come back to you. How do we?
There's a link.
There's a link. There's a link that you could tap into it.
Will you send me the link and then I will send it out to everybody?
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that after the call. Okay, I'm going back to Chief Carl for a moment. Chief Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, this is my brother, Robert Earl Carl, United States Marine Corps. He was killed in Baghdad. I'd just like to just say I miss him. I love him.
Thank you.
Just wanted to share him.
Thank you. And Lois, go ahead. I know you're waiting.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't know you could see me.
Hi, Lois.
Hi, darlings. Mr. Pepper, so good to hear your voice, honey.
How are you?
Don Talon. We lost Don about a month ago. He'll forever be in our hearts. And
amen.
I got my screen, but I can't get my picture up there. Can you hear me, Lois?
I can hear you.
Are we having toast?
You're going to have toast when I see you in August.
Thank you. I'm hunkering down 3 weeks already. I'm going bananas.
Pepper, since you're talking, do you want to go ahead and say something to everyone?
Sure, my name is Armin Pepper. I'm a World War II veteran, 94 years old. I served in the South Pacific. And it's a sad day today. It's not a happy day. Some people think it's a day to celebrate for happiness, but it's a very sad day. We've lost many, many men in these wars for our freedom, and we thank them for it. And it's a Remembrance Day.
Yes. And we're very grateful that you're still here with us and you can share with us.
I'm hanging around.
Well,
Lois knows me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
good, Pepper. Well, thank you.
Nice talking to everybody.
Okay.
How you doing there, Ted?
Don't go anywhere. We're not done yet.
They're sharing
Okay.
family,
Jordan,
people they know who.
hold on just a moment. We're going to do this one at a time so everybody gets honored. Jordan, you want to unmute yourself? And
Yeah, sure. If you guys can hear me okay, I appreciate all that you're doing for this cause. It's bigger than yourself, bigger than myself. For those that have gone before us and paid the ultimate sacrifice, and for those that'll go ahead of us. That being said, I would like to take a moment to honor my grandfather, who was an Air Force vet in World War II, that's no longer with us. So thank you. Thank you.
thank you. Sheila? Sheila, unmute yourself. Or not. I'll come back to you, Sheila, when I see your microphone unmuted. Gary Astolas?
Hi, this is my father, Albert Astolas, in the U.S. Army, a medic in World War II, ended up serving in the Philippines.
Good for him.
Very nice. And do you want to talk about your own service?
I am Navy Lieutenant Commander in the U.S. Navy. The Civil Engineer Corps, most people know that as with the Seabees. And by the way, my father's brother was also a Seabee in World War II in the Pacific.
Thank you, Gary. Beautiful partner of Gary, Carla.
Oh, thank you. Both of my parents served in World War II in the Marine Corps. I have a picture of my mother here, and she was a sergeant. My father was a private first class. They met in their Marine uniforms right when the war ended, dated for 4 weeks, got married in their Marine uniforms, and were together for 52 years until death parted them.
Aww.
So they will always be a Marine Corps family.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much for sharing that. Mr. Bryan, Wes Bryan.
Greetings from Bentley Village. Would like to honor my son, who was a Marine Corps major, did serve in Iraq. He is living and doing fine. Also, would like to remember my uncle, who served in the U.S. Army in World War II, and he went in at Anzio. And my wife's brothers, both within World War II, and they served in the European theater. One went in at Anzio, and one was in the Battle of the Bulge. And every one of them have survived, but I would like to honor everyone for their service and their sacrifices. A great day to remember.
Wes, weren't you in the service too?
Yeah, I was in the Corps of Engineers, U.S. Army and Peacetime Army, 60 to 62.
Well, thank you, and thanks for being here. It's nice to see you. Sean Z, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm here to honor my grandfather, who was a World War II vet in the U.S. Marines. And the picture is my dad touching his grave. My father was also a Vietnam vet who recently unexpectedly passed away in February. Agent Orange. I salute to all of you. Thank you so much for having this service today online. This is my first service missing with father, that's for sure. So it's been a tough day today. Thank you.
We're very glad you're with us. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Mark Rutenberg.
Hi, I'm Mark Rudenberg. I'm a Navy veteran. I want to honor my 47 brothers who lost their lives in the turret explosion aboard the USS Iowa 19 April 1989 at 09:55. Never forget.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Sheila, I see you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Yes. I wanted to honor my uncle and my father, who both served in World War II and survived, to all the veterans from Vietnam to our current long-standing war. We never take for granted our freedom for the sacrifices that you've all made. And I'm very honored to be a part of this tribute today. My husband and I are both sitting here with wet eyes, thus we're locked out, but thank you very much for your service.
Thank you for being here. And your husband too. Carla, I heard you had something else you wanted to say. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay, sorry about the muting. The other thing I wanted to mention about my parents were both Marines in World War II is my dear father was twice awarded the Purple Heart for injuries that he incurred in battle in the Pacific. And yet he was able to survive those injuries, and they were married, as I mentioned, 52 years. So thank you all for your service. Don't know where our country would be without you all.
Amen. Okay. Casey, did you want to say anything? I see you've joined us. Do you want to say anything? You can just wave your hand, yes or no. I'll go with no. Yeah. Did you want to say anything, Casey? You have to unmute yourself. No? Okay. White?
Yes, just want to thank all the Gold Star and Blue Star families for your service and sacrifice. Thank you.
Do you want to tell people where you served or how long?
I served I was Army infantry. I served in Bosnia, Korea, and Iraq.
Thank you, Dwight, and thanks for being here today. Okay, Matt Renner, did you want to talk? Do you want to talk? Matt?
I'm good, thank you.
You did? Okay. Didier, did you want to say something? I know you tried before and we lost you. You guys, if you're not chatting, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself because we're getting some feedback now. Didier, go ahead. You gotta mute yourself. Didier. You're still muted, Didier. Matt, can you unmute Didier?
Yes, let me find.
Okay. We're working this all out, I promise you.
Okay.
Okay, there you go, Didier. We can hear you.
Okay. I wasn't able to talk. I was killing me.
Go ahead.
No, I just taking in the moment. And you know, the thing to remember is that this isn't just happening in our country. It's happening mostly in Europe, at every military cemetery there. So it's, as someone said earlier, it is a sad moment.
Thank you. Lois, you have somebody with you. Did he want to talk?
No, my husband was playing with the phone, sorry.
Okay. Okay, David. Okay, we'll keep moving on. David Saldano. Matt, you're going to have to help unmute these people now if we're going to be muted. David?
Yep.
Saldano.
He's good.
Dave Soldano here, outreach specialist at the Naples Vet Center. I'm a United States Marine. I served in Iraq and Afghanistan right at the beginning of both. I was field radio operator for artillery. I was also a board observer for 1-1. Today, I'd like to remember one of my lieutenants, Lieutenant Sashir, who passed away on his 3rd deployment. Yeah, he was a hard charger.
Thank you, David. And thanks for everything you do with the vet, at the vet center. I have another David on here, but without a last name. I don't know who that is, but Matt, if you could unmute that person. There you go. David without a last name on here. Would you like to say something? Okay, he just muted himself, I think. So we'll keep going. Rebecca Tompkins, if you'd like to, would you like to speak and unmute yourself? Or Matt, unmute her? Rebecca, we can hear you, Rebecca.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. I'm calling from Ohio, zooming in from Ohio. I'm Jordan's mom, so I'm driving. I don't have my picture there. I wanted to just thank Jordan for his service to the United States Air Force. I wanted to remember my dad, who was in World War II in the United States Air Force. My husband, who served the United States Army in Vietnam, he's still here with me. And my son, Stefan, is currently a first lieutenant in the United States Air Force, serving at Langley Air Force Base on the front lines as an emergency room nurse. So thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. It's nice to have a father, a mother-son connection on here too. So thanks for
Yeah, I'm so appreciative of Jordan's contribution to the veterans and to the services. So it's an honor to be part of this.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank for being, drive carefully.
Thank you.
All right, Rabbi, James Rabbi King. Matt, will you unmute him, please? Rabbi, are you there? Matt, can you unmute Rabbi?
Yep,
Okay, Rabbi, are you there? Rabbi? Rabbi, can you hear me?
Guess not.
Okay, I'll come back to him because I know. Oh, he can hear, but he can't speak. Okay.
He's mute, huh?
I'll ask him. I'll ask him if there's.
He's on the list, but his
Well, I will tell you who Rabbi is. On the east coast of Florida, we also do boat outings. And we started our veteran boat outings probably back in 2012 as well, when we did them over here. And Rabbi was one of the very first veterans that I met over there. And he has been an exceptional advocate, not only for his local veterans with their local issues, but also for Freedom Waters Foundation and getting veterans out to us. So he is one of our oldest, not oldest in age, but oldest in time volunteers over on the East Coast, veteran volunteers. And I'm honored and so glad that he's here with us today. So even if you can't hear, we can't hear you, I'm very glad that you're here. So if there's anything you want me to relate, Rabbi, put it in the chat and I will tell everybody. Okay, let me see who else is next. Craig Tees, is there anything you'd like to say? Craig Tees? He's muted, Matt.
He's muted.
Matt, help me unmute.
I have given you back host.
Okay, oh, you're giving me back host. Okay, Craig? Craig, is there anything you want to say, Craig Tees?
Oh, he's muted.
No, he's not muted any longer. Okay, well, if you do, Craig, raise your hand.
I'm fine.
Okay, thank you. And who is at the 614 number? 614 number? There's no name here.
That's me.
Who's me?
Fred Garvin, I've called you. I think
Oh.
I'm still muted.
Hi, Fred. You're not muted right now. So if you'd like to share something with the rest of the group, we'd love to hear it.
Oh, yes, gladly. I'm 95 now, and I was on the destroyer escort USS Coiner, number 331. We're credited with sinking Hitler's lost U-boat, the U-869, on February 11th, 1945. We escorted convoys by 18 crossings of the Atlantic, and National DE Day, Destroyer Escort Day, is June 20th. And I want to extend my appreciation for FWA. Thank you for everything.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being here today. I'm glad you're good.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a Tom on here, Tom's iPhone. Tom, do you want to say something? Except you have to unmute yourself because I'm not able to unmute you.
Deb,
Yeah.
I got a message from Rabbi.
Okay, go ahead.
So he just wants to tell everyone that he's happy to be here and thank everyone for their service.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So is there anybody I missed? I think you're all unmuted at the moment.
Frank is here.
Okay, but is there anyone else that would like to say anything?
This is Gary. Real quick, I just want to put a little shout out for, this is Fritz Whitley, Carla's cousin.
What?
Who served in World War II. And he was Satchel and Bazooka unit that landed and was part of the occupation of Okinawa for a long time. Amazing stories. So.
Well, thank you, Gary. Thank you very much.
Frank
Okay.
here would like to speak.
Okay, I'm gonna mute everybody again so Frank can speak. Okay.
Hi, my name is Frank. I'm with the BFW Post 7721, and I read this. I saw this thing on Facebook.
Wait. God. Frank, wait one moment, please. Can you, I just need to unmute. Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, Frank.
Okay. Just something I saw on Facebook a few days ago, and I'd like to share with everybody. It's called The Fallen Soldier, written by former Navy SEAL and author Jocko Willink. I am the fallen soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine. Remember me. I am the one that held the line. Sometimes I volunteered. Sometimes I went because I was told to go. But when the nation called, I answered. In order to serve, I left behind family, friends, and freedom that so many take for granted. Over time, I used different weapons: a sword, a musket, a bayonet, a rifle, a machine gun. Often I marched into battle on foot. Other times I rode to battle on horseback or in wagons, sometimes on trains, later in tanks or jeeps or Humvees. In early wars, my ships were made of wood and powered by the wind. Later, they were made of steel and powered by the diesel, fuel, or the atom. I even took to the air and mastered the sky in planes, helicopters, and jets. The machines of wars evolved and changed with the times. But remember, it was always me, the warrior, that had to fight our nation's enemies. I fought at Lexington and Concord as our nation was born. I crossed the Delaware on Christmas Day in 1776. In the Civil War, I fought with my brothers and against my brothers at Gettysburg, Shiloh, and Bull Run. I learned that we must never again divide. In World War I marched the Marne and held the line at Belleau Wood. The war to end all wars, they called it. I called it hell. In World War II, I fought everywhere: the beaches of Normandy, the Battle of the Bulge, the Hell of Guadalcanal. I stood against tyranny and kept darkness from consuming the world. In Korea, I landed at Incheon and broke out of Chosin Reservoir. They called it the Forgotten War, but I never forgot. In Vietnam, I fought in the Mekong Delta, Khe Sanh, and Hamburger Hill. Some say my country wavered, but I did not waver, ever. In the recent past, I fought war in Iraq, Afghanistan, in Baghdad, Fallujah, and Ramadi, in Kunar, Helmand, and Kandahar. As technology advanced, I used night vision goggles and global positioning systems and drones, lasers and thermal optics. But it was still me, a human being, that did all the work. It was me that patrolled the mountains across the desert and through the streets. It was me that suffered the merciless heat and bitter cold. It was me that went out night after night to confront our nation's enemies and confront evil face to face. It was me. Remember me. I was a warrior. But also remember that I was not only a warrior, remember also I was a son, a brother, a father. I was a daughter, a sister, a mother. I was a person like you, a real person with hopes and dreams for the future. I wanted to have children. I wanted to see my son score a touchdown or shoot the winning basket. I wanted to walk my daughter down the aisle. I wanted to kiss my wife again. When I told her I'd be there to the end, I meant it. When I told my children I would always be there for them, I meant it. But I gave it all away, all of it. On that distant battlefield amongst the fear, the fire, and the bullets, or in the sky above enemy territory filled with flak, or on the unforgiving sea where we fought against the enemy and against the depths of the abyss, there in those awful places, I held the line. I did not waver. I did not hesitate. I, the soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine, I stood my ground and sacrificed my life, my future, my hopes, my dreams. I sacrificed everything for you. This Memorial Day, remember me, the fallen warrior, and remember me not for my sake, but for yours. Remember that what I sacrificed so you can truly appreciate the incredible treasures you have: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have the joys of life, the joys I gave up so that you can relish in them: a cool wind in the air, the gentle spring grass on your bare feet, the warm summer sun on your face, family, friends, and freedom. Never forget where it all came from. It came from sacrifice, the supreme sacrifice. Live a life that honors us, fallen heroes. Remember us, and make every day Memorial Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad that we could all be here together.
Hey, Deborah,
Yes?
I did send you that link for
Okay.
Buglers Across America.
Did you send it to me on email or?
I emailed it to you direct.
Okay, can you also put it in the chat here? Do you know how to do that?
Nope.
Okay, I'll figure that out before we sign off. I promise I'll do that before we sign off.
Yeah, it's gonna be on CBS, so you'll see.
Oh, great. Okay. I appreciate that. Well, Frank, thank you for sharing that lovely reading. And so I just want to say, you know, obviously all of you know who Freedom Waters Foundation is because you're here. So somehow you're connected to us. If you haven't been on a boat outing with us, I hope you come with us in the near future when we can do that again. We are honored to have the veterans as part of our programming now. It has been since 2012, and it certainly has enriched my life. I know it has enriched a lot of our volunteers and our board members as well, and our staff. I certainly have made a lot of friends that I treasure, and know a lot of people who are not here and treasure those lives too. So I want to share one of our outings with you that we did with the veterans. I think it'll be a nice way for us to share some of our good times together too before we sign off. And there's more messaging afterwards, so please don't leave. This is going to be new. I'm going to share my screen, so hold on, everybody.
Feels good when you can help.
Can you hear it?
Yes. just a wonderful
Can you
opportunity,
hear it?
to do anything with Freedom Waters.
Everyone seems very friendly, and any organization that's going to put this on for veterans for free have to be very amazing people.
Stick together with veterans, helping veterans. That's our motto, so to speak.
It's a good avenue to get the veterans out, out of their shell.
I love it because I know how it helped me. So I can see the veterans when they come out. I can tell, even though they're not showing it. Yeah, I can tell because they're comfortable. If they're comfortable, they'll be back actually.
There's self-gratification by contributing and helping out and whatever is needed, So it's rewarding, fulfilling.
I was in for 2.5 years, and I was medically discharged. I fractured my hip on my 42nd jump. I'm really excited to meet new friends, share maybe some similar experiences, and meet some great people.
They isolate, so they have no idea what's available out here. And just like I did, I didn't want to meet anyone, I just assumed everyone's going to criticize and so on. So get them out here, get them involved with the volunteers actually, and just involved in society that way.
I remember when I was there, and I remember how hard it was to reach out, to be able to get out. I remember so much, and to look at myself for the growth that I've come thus far, but yet still have other veterans of other eras be more inspiration for me to continue to grow and to continue to reach out to other veterans. I think it's part of the circulation of life.
My husband, being a veteran himself and suffering from PTSD, that it's been a great outlet for all of the guys. They can go on one of the boats and they get out in the water, and all their troubles or whatever are left back on shore.
Healing takes place with veterans and other veterans, so it's going to be lots of healing, lots of love, it's camaraderie with civilians and veterans all together.
I guess this is just a little way of realizing, understanding the challenges that everybody faces coming back, trying to be helpful, work through it in any way I can.
It was the best experience of my life. I wouldn't take it back for anything. And I'm really happy that they have an organization out here that we can go to.
Yeah, it's that cohesion that they form that keeps people coming back, the volunteers coming back, the veterans coming back.
It rebuilds you. It rejuvenates you. It rebuilds you. It's such a great feeling to be part of. It's a beautiful growth. It's all part of the journey.
I mean, there's just a contact, a commitment that, that all these brothers have together that, you don't form that bond any other place.
Okay, now I have to figure out how to turn it off. Okay. Oh, wait. I don't know how to turn it off, you guys. Hold on. Hey. Hey, Matt, mute me till I can figure this out.
I can't anymore.
Oh, I don't know how to turn that off. Sorry.
Just hit exit.
Hit exit?
Hit stop share at the top.
I don't even know where it is. It's not showing on my screen. Sorry, you guys. Let me lower the volume. Oh, these technical difficulties. Sorry, it's not showing on my screen. I don't even know how to find it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Now you know who is technically deficient. So those of you who know me, I am unmuted right now, correct? Okay. Yes, can you hear me? Okay. Those of you who know me, I certainly don't want that to be an advertisement. That was more, I just want you to know how much I and the rest of Freedom Waters Foundation really misses doing those outings with you. And you guys all know I'm a big emotional baby, so if I talk too much about how much I miss you, I'll just end up crying. So that was shown just to show you what we do with our veterans and why we do it. It's not an advertisement like, oh, it's really, we just miss you. And we really look forward to getting back on the water with you again. And continuing to build our veteran family like we always do, and being together and supporting each other and loving one another and just caring about one another. I know today is not an easy day for a lot of people, and I want you to know that we are here for you. Freedom Waters is, the vet center is here for you. David is available, and the Veterans Council is always available for you. So please don't ever feel like you're alone out there, and know that you can pick up the phone and call any one of us, and we will be here for you. That's all I have for today, and that was our program. But I will open it up to all of you. David, Matt, I'm okay if you unmute everyone. Or am I in control right now? I guess
You are. You are the host right now, and they can unmute themselves.
I unmuted everyone. Anyway, again, I thank you all for showing up today. I thank you all for your service. Is there anything anyone would like to say before we leave today? You're all unmuted, so feel free to jump in.
Thank you, David Ramos. Your rendition of Taps is moving every time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Ask something, one last thing. Airborne all the way. Army.
Go Air Force.
Okay.
Go Air Force.
Today it's about all of you. Danielle, David Ramos, I don't have your email, so make sure you email, you know what, make sure you email that link to info@freedomwatersfoundation.org, okay?
I did.
I didn't get it.
No?
No, I didn't get it. All right, it's going to be on CBS tonight?
Hey, David, if you want to text it to me, if you have my number, I'll text you. I have yours.
All right, I will.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, I thank you very much for being here today. I offer you comfort and care and a whole lot of love in your thinking about yourselves who have been in service. Please honor yourselves for what you've done for us. Also, please know that we surround you with love and care as you think about those loved ones that you've lost and the friends that you've lost. They are part of all of us and are forever grateful for their service and yours. I can't thank you enough for making this call very special for me and for everyone else on this call today. I wish you all a blessed, blessed day.
Okay, thank you.